You're really good at this. Good evening, everyone. It is 4th of July. I'm sure nobody is going to watch this right now live while I'm filming it because hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful 4th of July, socially distanced from somebody that you love, or maybe even able to be non-socially distanced from someone you love, if that makes sense. I'll move on. So what a week it has been. I've been sharing these Facebook Lives every day, and I've been sharing some pretty raw topics, pretty real topics if you haven't noticed by now. Yesterday's video actually left me feeling especially raw, especially if you made it to the end. You probably knew that. But in addition to those videos, sharing things that are very real to me and very important. I also worked on the webinar all week that I shared today, and I had a wonderful time sharing it. We had a great group of people on. I appreciate everyone joining me for that. I did share more raw stuff in that video as well. And so I'd say that today I've experienced what Brené Brown would call a vulnerability hangover. And at one point in my life, I would definitely have just stifled that down and ignored it and gone on. But things are very different for me now. So I've committed to this 30-day challenge, coming in here live every day for 30 days, sharing different obstacles that I faced in my own path to transformation. And so I didn't want to skip today's video because it's important that I do this. I committed to it. However, one thing I learned in the teaching world was that, and this is something I didn't do when I was teaching that I should have done. But one thing I learned is that teaching is giving of yourself. And when you give of yourself, that's like exhaling. It's like a long exhale. And you need to give yourself the gift of a nice deep inhale as well. And I confess I learned that from Brené Brown also. So want to give the exhale and the inhale language. I learned that from her. So in keeping with that, what I've decided to do is, rather than the topic I was going to go over, which I'll go over another day, I decided to talk about something that is of vital importance, an extension of one of the things I shared in the webinar. So in our webinar today, I shared the two things that every diet must have. The first thing is sustainability, and the second thing is results. There's actually a third piece that I'd like to offer you this evening. And that piece, so not only does a diet need to be sustainable, but it also needs to be sustaining. It needs to nourish you. It needs to bolster you. It needs to be re-energizing, life-giving. And I've already shared all the ways in my previous attempts at weight loss that have utterly failed at that. So my previous attempts at weight loss drained me physically, mentally, and emotionally. At the time, those should have been the signs that that was not the path I should be on. But I've learned, right? What is it that Maya Angelou says? When we know better, we do better. So the path I'm on now, above all else, is life-sustaining. And anything I choose to let into my life now, anything at all, has to stand up to that test. So I've already shared my diet. It nourishes me. It enlivens me. My yoga practice, the reason I came to yoga to begin with, was because it was the first practice that helped me slow down this chaotic mind and turn my attention. The thing that I've already shared with you is the most vital tool we have. Turn that attention inward on myself, to inhale, to recover what I had given of myself for the week. Forrest and I, even now, we've just started a program that actually teaches organization. So if you've If you know us really well, you know that our home isn't the most organized of places. And again, in the past, I would have used that lack of organization as an avenue of shame, but shame's got nothing to do with this, right? Now we just want our home to be a retreat and a haven for us, so that when we've come home, again, that place of inhale and restoration, our home can be that place for us. And whenever we have guests over, we want it to be a place of welcoming, relaxation, just a place you want to be in. So that program has stood up to that test of life sustaining. And speaking of my husband, I married him for I married him for a reason, and for many reasons. But the big thing is, he walks beside me. So you've probably heard that. I live my life by quotes. I need to be original here, but that's all right. I think I've heard it said, the person who doesn't walk in front of you or behind you, but beside you. So he doesn't walk in front of me or behind me, but he walks beside me, and he encourages me to dream big and live my best life. So that's pretty special. That is that life-sustaining litmus test. So I'm sharing this with you this evening because I want to invite you to consider this litmus test for yourself. What parts of your life are life-giving, are life-sustaining? What parts of your life drain you? What parts of your life degrade you? If you're like me, this is best done as a journal exercise, so you can really get your thoughts out. Another option, if you're a little bit more kinesthetic, you might consider doing this as a walking meditation. And by that, it's not anything special. It just means go for a walk, leave everyone else behind you, and just consider these questions. Or you might set this as your intention for your next yoga practice. Most of all, I want to invite you to not stress over it. So what I'm asking you to do is consider this question. I'm not asking you to go root out every bad thing in your life. There will be time for that. For right now, your next best, most important action is simply to identify what is life-sustaining for you. That's it. So if you're here on this live video with me now, I hope you've gotten something from this. Definitely comment below if you have. If you're watching this later, you're still welcome to comment below. Thank you for giving me your time, your attention. And don't forget, if you'd like to join our challenge, it starts on Monday. There's still time to join. We would absolutely love to have you. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy 4th of July. I will either see you in the gym or I will see you tomorrow online. Happy Saturday, friends. Goodbye for now.